Hello. Hello, ladies.
Oh.
Hello.
Good morning.
I got to meet Thom finally.
Yes, you did.
That was cool.
I brought him out. I dusted them all.
He looks so pretty.
Yeah.
And he behaved very well for somebody who normally doesn't get out of the cage.
I'm telling you.
Really.
We let him out. We let him out. We just celebrated our 21st anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you. We're so excited.
And so you have how many dogs there with you now, Angela?
3.
3.
2 belong to my friend.
Uh-huh.
But I'm taking them.
You're just going to kidnap them and not say a word? Is that it?
Is it kidnapping or is it repatriating to their homeland?
That's one way to put it. That is definitely one way to put it.
That's how I think it should be seen.
I think so. So, ladies, we've been talking about the Women's March that is coming up tomorrow, and its importance for women younger than I, because, you know, it's all dried up down here. You know, it sounds like there's tumbleweeds. So it's
a dusty place.
It's a dusty.
Nobody's seed could find
barren,
any purchase.
Yeah, exactly. Barren, awful place. But I'm in support of all the women younger than I am that are potentially not going to be able to have what was available to me growing up from 1973 on, because obviously I was born before Roe. But I knew once I got to a certain age that should I need to terminate a pregnancy, I would be able to do that. And it was always there. And there are women that are alive now that have never not known that. And so for the Texas law and perhaps the Mississippi law to eventually overturn Roe, it's very, 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 very scary. How do you guys, are you guys going to participate this weekend, or virtually or otherwise?
I will. I'm definitely, and I'm signed up to be in my neighborhood to go to the march. My daughter and I are going. I think my husband's coming as well. You know, I think about I have a 15-year-old daughter, and she goes to an all-girls school, and I went to an all-girls school.
Same
and
here.
I can tell you about and I went to an all-women's college, and I can tell you about holding people's hands during terrifying times.
Yeah.
When they're 16, 17, 18, 19 years old. I have watched girls throw themselves downstairs to terminate a pregnancy. I have seen friends go and try to find all kinds of concoctions to create what they hope and will be, and drink all kinds of horrible chemicals to create what they hope will be a homemade abortion. We cannot go back to that. I won't go back to that. I won't let young women do that to themselves. It is not okay. And the fact that our representatives had to sit there in Congress yesterday and go through their medical history in front of the public, I'm ready to lose my mind.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not okay.
It is not okay. You're absolutely right. But what I love about all of the representatives yesterday speaking is that, along with Uma Thurman and Jolie Fisher became public on her Facebook page about an abortion she had when she was, I think, 17, with all these women coming forward going, look, I had an abortion. Had I not done that, I wouldn't have the success that I do. I wouldn't have the children that I have. And they're trying, I think what's good about women in the public coming out and talking about it is that it takes the stigma out of a medical procedure that should not have stigma.
Right. Oh, I completely understand that. But you also still get to have your privacy.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
They're so brave, and I think it was really amazing, and I was blown away by all of them. I mean, you know, Representative Jayapal she's my spirit animal, period. And I love her. And and Representative Barbara Lee, as if you needed another reason.
Right. No kidding.
It's amazing that like it's, you know, it's so the hypocrisy of the anti-choice movement if 1 out of every 3, I think
it's every 3 women, yeah.
3 women has an abortion, then there's some people who are lying.
Oh, yeah.
A significant percentage who are saying, it's okay for me, but not for you.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to have the freedom to make this choice, but I don't want you to have it.
Exactly.
And it's ridiculous to me, because if we're going to regulate this, then let's regulate root canals.
Yeah.
Let's regulate, because they're far more dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely insane to me. If you're looking for a great book on abortion and abortion advocacy, go look for Dr. Willie Parker's book.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of it right now, but he's amazing. He's a doctor who drives between the 3 states that have the worst abortion situation, where like there are no clinics or one clinic, like Mississippi, that little
North Dakota, I think, only has 1 clinic too. It's just awful.
It's already, I mean, they'd already eroded people's ability to get there in the first place.
Right.
Not to mention treating abortion as if it's something that insurance shouldn't cover, or that shouldn't get the same sort of safety and financial protocols that other procedures can get. Like, it's disgusting.
Well, I think there's one thing I read, that Manchin also wants to make sure that the Hyde Amendment is still, it's the law of the land, so there's no reason to put it in a budget bill or in the reconciliation bill.
That's right.
It's already why do you want to put it in a bill when it's already the law? Which I don't like the Hyde Amendment by any stretch of the imagination, but it is already law. So I think he's trying.
They just want the headline.
Yeah, that's it.
He just wants to show that he's done something that doesn't need to be done.
Right.
And what kills me about it, again, with the hypocrisy, is that when we have hate crime legislation, what we are told from the people who are against it is, but there's already laws against assault. Why do you need hate crimes legislation? It's like, because it's a different crime, first of all, and it's just, it's insane to me that we put up with this level of misinformation.
I agree.
From them. I don't know why that's okay.
I agree. Let's see. Yes.
Hi, Lisa. Very cute, though, I want to say.
Oh. Hi, Lisa in Wisconsin. You wanted to talk about an abortion that you had?
Oh, yes. I've got a rant, if you would so indulge me. First of all, my motto is no one has the right to either to either enter or inhabit my body without my acquiescence.
Yep.
Somehow a lot of people on the right seem to think that pregnancy is a walk in the park, which it's not. I had a friend that was a very far-right religious person that believed that if you got pregnant, you didn't want it. You just had to have that child and give it up for adoption because you should never kill it. But people also don't realize that there are all kinds of ramifications during the pregnancy and sometimes thereafter. Everybody thinks of pregnancy onset diabetes, for example, as something that just occurs while you're pregnant, but sometimes it continues onward.
Yep.
My mom had a uterine prolapse. The surgeon that did it said that it can happen in women that haven't had pregnancy, but it's much more common in people that have had births.
Right.
You have, as the one politician mentioned, debilitating postpartum depression. There's the whole expense issue.
Right.
For example, in Wisconsin, it's over $20,000 if you have to have a C-section and you don't have insurance. That's more than a drop in the bucket.
No kidding.
If you were to work at Walmart or Amazon, making what their hourly wages are, how in the heck are you going to afford to pay something like that, let alone even just an average birth? Because a lot of people that work at, for example, Walmart don't have health insurance. They can't afford it. Who pays for the prenatal expenses, including time missed at work? What if you have a situation like your friend that was bedridden? As far as I'm concerned, if you're going to mandate that a woman carries a pregnancy to term, then let's make that father pay every single part of those expenses from day one of the conception. And I also want to mention that these people on the right don't care if women die from illegal abortions.
They do.
It's all about the subjugation of women and punishing them. Therefore, if women die from illegal abortions, they're going to be saying, well, good, because she's a murderer and she deserves to die. That's why we've got the one politician in Texas that wants to make it punishable with a death sentence. Women need to beware. This is just the start. If they get rid of legal abortion, the birth control pill is next. They do not want women to have their freedoms. Also, I'd like to mention that pro-life is a total misnomer. It's a pretense. I would like to see everybody, all of you in the media, start to, because it's being validated by using that term, start correcting people that state pro-life and say it's pro-birth, because it's all about just, as soon as that child gets out of the birth canal, they don't give a damn, as exemplified by what's going on or what happened in Flint, Michigan, and all the other places that have lead in the water. And they didn't give a damn about any of these people at the border coming over that were, with children, et cetera. So thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Have a good day. Take care. Go on that march tomorrow.
Yes.
I will. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. Yeah, I mean, John and I were talking about
Fugelsang.
Yes, Fugelsang and I were talking about the Build Back Better infrastructure deal, and it's pro-child care, it's pro-health care, it's all pro-life. That's a pro-life bill, y'all.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They want to cut prescription drug prices. Mm-hmm. They want to address climate change. Mm-hmm. The climate crisis. There's so much in that bill, and that is our job, is to tell people to stop calling it a $3.5 trillion bill, and talk about what is in it, what it does for people, and especially if you are pro-life, then you should be behind this bill.
Yeah, because what you really are is anti-choice. You're not pro-life. Right. You're anti-choice, because if you're pro-life, you would exhibit it when there is life.
Right.
And they simply don't.
Yeah, they cut food stamps. They cut anything to help parents feed or clothe their children. I mean, it's and medical bills and other. They're barely even pro-birth at this point, because they don't want prenatal care either. So it infuriates me, and we have to make sure that the women and the girls that are coming of age now, that are here already, and the ones that will be born in the future, have this protection for them for medical care.